I just got a reminder.
It looks like we have 2 participants.
No,
I'm
all
assuming
right.
one of them is us. Are we on? Yeah. Okay. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Human Rights Commission Subcommittee meeting on March 2nd. Happy to have you with us. Do we have anybody online?
We do not.
We do not. Okay, that was a mistake. All right, then I will call this meeting to order at 6:30, and we'll do roll call.
Feel free to say your names.
Yeah. I'm Wolfgang Kebling.
Mary Bauer.
Great.
You're both present.
We're both present.
Thank you.
Next is to read the mission.
I didn't bring my computer.
Do you want me to bring my laptop over? You want to come over here and read it off? Or do
You
you
do.
know it by heart?
I think
I think you know it by heart.
Okay.
You can see our.
Okay.
Act
as a strong advocate to justice and equal opportunity by providing citywide leadership and guidance in the area of civil rights. You got it.
Did you do it by memory? I didn't.
Not really. I
Yeah.
always read it off. Okay. Next, we'll move into matters by the public. Move into public comment. Any webinar attendees can use the raise hand function, and phone attendees can use *9. Do we have anybody
No
online?
attendance.
Okay. No callers? All right. So I'll move into approving the minutes from the last session, which was on February 2nd, and we have the minutes that are attached. I think I'm the only person
Yeah,
that was
I did
present
not, I
from
wasn't
last
there,
meeting.
so I would not vote.
So I don't know if we can do a vote of 1.
I think if you're the
I
only
might
one.
I can punt it to next time,
Yeah, we
unless you
can
don't mind reading.
put it on hold. That's okay.
Put it
We
on
can always
hold.
take it to the retreat.
Okay.
Was someone else present?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was,
all right, well then
yeah, it was
that-
4 in attendance.
Yeah.
And they should all be there. Yeah, everyone should be there at the retreat. Okay. Community engagement is also supposed to meet today, but I don't see any representatives from them, so I'll go right into housing. We've got 3 things on the agenda. The first would be to review the draft letter to council that we drafted regarding housing-related budget priorities. I haven't made any adjustments to the letter, but I would like to. I would also love to see if the housing subcommittee, might be able to like add substantive edits to it, so like things that you want to see in it at some point. Have you gotten a chance to look at it?
I did look at it, but I
It's like a
didn't
really
bring
old
my
draft.
computer, so
Okay.
that, which was just, I don't even know what I was thinking, but I just walked out
So
without
you're
it,
about
so.
to go on vacation. You're packing it for sure.
Could I look at it? I'd be
Absolutely.
glad to look at it while
Okay.
we, well, I mean, I
What
did
is
look at it,
Is
but
it in the
just,
agenda packet?
It is not. It resides on SharePoint, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's just been sort of a draft document
And it's
so far. I had
old draft at this point.
yeah.
My goal was to have it to
Do you know where to find it?
I think it
yeah,
probably doesn't make sense for me to like,
read it now.
yeah.
It might
read
not.
like, add
It would be
edits, so it's
wordsmithing
okay.
on
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the live meeting, but
What would you like from other people?
yeah, I
Wolfgang?
think that may be appropriate.
I want to, so this is my accountability for me. I want to take the time between now and our retreat to go back over it, incorporate feedback that I got from Alex Ikafuna from our conversation, which I haven't done yet since like a month ago. Cleaned it up because there's some notes at the bottom from a city budget meeting that I attended, which don't belong in the letter. They're just notes that I was taking because I had the document open. And then have the document able to like a week from now, people could take a look at it.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be on the agenda for our retreat because we have other business planned, but I would like for at least substantive edits from you and from Ernest, who is now on the housing subcommittee.
Well, I just discovered that I have a 6-hour flight tomorrow.
Something to read.
I had not looked up how long
Oh.
the flight that I'm taking is, and so
Yeah.
I will put that on my list of
Okay,
things to
great.
do while
Thanks.
trapped on an airplane.
Okay. Yeah,
Cool.
I'd love for you to take a look at it.
I
Just
will do that.
know that I have an asterisk that it's an old draft and that I want to make some changes to it.
Okay.
It's basically, the intent behind it is to say, look, in a world of competing priorities, the city should focus on affordable housing and emergency housing as one of those top priorities. And one of the ways to do that is to fund certain things. Here are some funds that we believe you should continue funding or consider increasing the funds for. That might be punching above my weight since I'm not a housing policy expert. But I think that the nature of the letter is to say this is a priority for us, this should be a priority for you, and so there should not be a decrease in funding for any of these issues.
Do you want to include non-funding related housing issues, or do you want it to be like very specific and targeted to
Oh.
funding? I mean, one of the things I mentioned at the last meeting was I want to encourage the commission to take a position on, the rezoning.
Yeah. Yes.
So I don't know if that's should be a different letter in your view, or, I mean, we haven't voted to do that at
Yeah.
all, so.
I want to write that letter with you anyway.
Okay.
It could be 2 letters.
Yeah,
Right now,
that's
we have
fine
an
with me.
issue
It's
writing
absolute-
1 letter.
yeah.
But I believe that is also an important letter. Maybe, I think it deserves its own thing. just
Yeah,
because
probably
the
so.
rezoning plan is just like such a big conversation.
Yeah, and I was
today.
hoping that we
Yeah.
would talk about that at the retreat.
Okay.
I mean, not that we can't talk about it here,
Yeah.
but, obviously, we need more than 2 of us to say
Yeah.
yay.
I think Jessica wanted our policy, like our important policy things by tomorrow. And so if you can
Okay.
ping her and say that's important to you, or like other policy things that you want to be on
I can, and I can
the
even
table for
send,
discussion for the
I can
retreat.
send a letter that somebody else wrote that I think is a good letter.
Yeah.
A
A template for-
or something,
yes.
right, and to say, here's sort of the argument about why.
Yes.
Okay, I will do that.
Great,
Send it to her tonight.
perfect. I have a list of things that I haven't sent
Okay.
yet, so that's also a reminder for me to send them before tomorrow. List. Okay. So, letter. Okay. Second agenda item is to schedule one-on-one meetings with city staff and other experts. In our last subcommittee meeting, sort of a joint engagement and housing, we were brainstorming different people that we think would be good for a panel or an open house format TBD. But either way, having more conversations with experts on housing policy within the city, I think would enrich our decision-making as well as help us understand people who I think would be good to connect with. So there's a contact sheet for community engagement that's been circulated. Have you gotten a chance to see it?
Mm-mm.
It's fine if you haven't. I'm gonna recirculate it. I think it would be great for us to pick one person to talk to and to schedule something between now and the next subcommittee meeting. I'm saying this realizing that the retreat might kind of shift the conversations that we might have based on what policy thing we want to be the focus. But at the same time, I think housing is still going to be central to whatever, so it
Yeah.
would be still good to set up those conversations, but maybe set them up for after the retreat occurs. So let me bump that email real quick.
And
I know
do you
don't
all
it
have a
because
list of experts? I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many people in the city who.
I can read them,
Okay.
but it's also I'll be reading them online.
Yeah.
Just take a
I'm
look.
happy, I'm happy to review it. I mean, I assume some of them are the obvious
Yeah,
suspects, right? So.
Yeah, the
Certainly.
people you'll recognize.
But hearing from
Mhm.
those folks periodically, even if we've heard from them before, I think is good.
Yeah. So I just, do you have the bandwidth to commit to meeting with one
I do.
policy person
For
between
sure.
now and the next, so between the retreat and the next subcommittee meeting? To meet
Which
with one person.
presumably is early April?
Late March, early April.
Yeah, could definitely do that.
Okay, great. And that's one due out. Okay. We also wanted to, the third item is compile a resource list. I also wanted to touch base and see what communication methods work best. Because I don't want to email blast if that's not the best way to get a hold of you. I also know that for me, it's kind of hard to have our city Outlook be the preferred method of communication when my personal email is always a preferred method of communication for me. So I just wanted to see what would be your preferred communication method for housing subcommittee issues.
Great question. Thank you for asking. Email's fine. What has worked for me, which is kind of an annoying thing to say out loud,
Yeah.
is when I don't respond, I have 4 different email addresses. I
Yeah.
have 2 personal ones, I have the city one, and I have my work. And I just don't check them all, or sometimes and so if, I have no problem with somebody sending me an
Uh-huh.
email or a like to my personal, to
Yeah.
another account, or to my, or just text me saying, there's an email you need to read, please respond.
Can I text you?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Would be awesome.
Okay, I'll grab your number
Yeah.
when we're not streaming.
Yep.
And we can do that. I already have Ernest's.
Okay.
And if it's okay.
It's, I have
we can-
no problem people poking me, you know.
Okay.
you-
We
So I
see
say
that.
like,
have
I
to
send you an
poke me
email, do you
too
mind
many
responding
times.
it by Friday?
Yep.
That kind of thing. Okay, great. Email with a text follow-up, 'cause I know we're not always checking these. Great. And is there, like, I guess a good time of the day that I should, but like, I should realize like, oh, you're not available during this time of the day if I text you? Like, it's not gonna get through.
Well, if you text me after 9:30 at night, I will be in my pajamas, and I will
Fair.
not look.
Will not expect a response.
But it won't bother me, it'll just be
Okay.
sitting there on.
No, it's fine, great. It's not gonna like ping or wake you up or
Yeah, no,
anything.
you can,
Okay.
anytime is fine.
Sounds good. We'll not
I'm
expect
an
a response
early
there.
person, so.
Okay. I don't have my phone on me during the day, so I am inaccessible during like all business hours.
Oh,
And that includes,
nice.
that it also includes by our city email. So, I might send out my personal email and then also my work phone.
Yeah,
If you need
okay.
to get a hold of me. Just kind of like a landline. And then the email account that I made when I was 12.
Yeah, I
Because-
have one of those.
Yeah, yeah. Great. I'll circulate out a little email distro for the 3 of us. Just, I know Ernest probably is fine being on a group chat because he's already texted me about stuff, so I can make something for the 3 of us. Okay. And
If number 3 doesn't make sense, I can explain.
sure, yeah, I'd love to hear more about this. Is this substituting for the research element that I was talking about last time?
A bit of that.
Yeah.
And it's also something that I heard from Jessica, or where it's like, when we learn things about whatever topic, if it's housing, it's been housing lately that we've been talking about. Where do we drop our sort of Cliff's Notes, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
so that when we want to remember, like, okay, we've learned all these
Yeah.
things, this is what's going to inform our decisions in terms of action going forward, coming up with some sort of system to do that, because it's hard, especially with something as broad as housing. You have to be able to distill things down and to say, okay, these are the main topics we know about, these are the things we really care about, and remember, because it gets lost in minutes. I think it does.
Yeah.
So that was something. That was,
Yeah, I thought when Anna Mendez came a couple times and spoke, like, I thought she had such great things to
Mhm.
say that, I don't know, like, reducing that to writing somewhere and putting it somewhere actually could be really helpful for, you know, new commissioners, for those of us who wanna look back and remember what
right.
she said, but, yeah, we don't really have a system
Yeah.
to do that, so,
I mean, and it's nice that it's captured in minutes because we have all those
yeah.
available, but then remembering like, which month was that? So even if you just had like an index of like, where do I find the affordable housing plan? Where do I find, you know, the new zoning ordinance? What month was that Anna Mendez came and spoke eloquently about concerns that she had about?
So I'd
folks,
love
so.
to be able to use our OneDrive a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah,
And it might be that like my work is also uses Outlook, and so the two tend to fight each other depending on what I'm logged into.
sure.
But also that sometimes I think we've had issue like sharing the documents and accessing documents and being able to find documents after they've been shared by email.
Yep.
And so do you think there is an alternative to OneDrive, or do you think we could, is there's a way to like pin a central location in a way that's visible for everybody accessing it through Outlook?
So
we have a Teams
Teams will do
page?
that for you.
Okay.
And the
We could
way
have a
to
Teams
do it,
page.
I could create a
Yeah.
I think I already have made a Human Rights Commission team. And I think I just have
Okay.
to add everybody's.
Yeah.
I'm a little shaky on Teams myself, but that could be a place, because it's got a files place. And so if you go, when you guys access your Outlook, I assume you're just like on the browser, right?
Yeah.
So you go there and there's like a little square up in the corner with a bunch of dots, and you can choose like the other apps that are associated with your Outlook 365 account. And so you can click on Teams and then just go to the team where
We
all the
have the
files are
Teams.
stored. Yeah,
We
you,
have a
you-
Human Rights Commission Teams page.
yeah, you do.
Great.
You have it?
Yeah,
I think I made that a while ago.
we're all members.
Yeah, good.
We have a couple additional guests, city attorneys.
Yeah.
Ashley Marshall's on there.
So it exists. So you could
Okay.
store things there. It may be, we may need a little bit of orientation around that because I don't know if you don't use Teams.
We use Teams at work, so.
Yeah,
So
I
you
use it
kind of
as
know.
well.
Yeah.
We were actually talking about getting rid of Teams because
It's
it
a headache.
can like, it's like, it grows to like fill your entire life.
It
Yeah.
does.
Notification,
Yeah.
notification.
No, we probably are not gonna get rid of it though, but
Yeah.
yeah, it,
We're adapting to it. We've shifted all of our operations into Teams. So in the office at least. So
I think there's a lot of advantage to communicating that way.
yeah.
I agree, and I think it'd be really easy to add like a housing subcommittee channel.
You can do that.
And even if it's not used for regular communication, because text bump might be better, we could definitely use it to drop resources over time.
That's right.
And
And
in a way that would be shareable with the whole commission, that would be flexible as the commission changes over time. So it's not just sitting on one person's email. That has to be
exactly.
shared if that person leaves.
You can
which
just
happens
go
sometimes.
to the team and
Go to
find
the
it.
team's drop ad.
What they
Teams
what
page.
IT has suggested to you, I think they used to do like multiple. This is kind of geeking out a little bit, but doing multiple channels inside of a team is one way to do it. But they've suggested actually just create a new team. So like you would have your Human Rights Commission
Okay.
team, and then you have your Human Rights Commission housing team, and then it just has one channel, and you put all your files in there really easily. So I don't know how complicated that is, but it's just something to think about. Or however you want to manage it, but.
I don't think I have the admin ability. Oh,
Did you set up a new Teams channel?
yep, I can set up a team.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Okay. I'm gonna look into that and see if I can set up a housing one. Cause there's, like some podcasts I listening to one that was like Virginia specific today that I could drop in there if people wanna listen to stuff. And also to record our conversations that we have, with different policymakers.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Make Teams page.
I do notice that this thing needs to be updated, with, I think.
What do you mean, with commissioners?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we just
We
haven't
haven't used it in a long time.
Yeah.
right.
So I'll
But
make a
it's-
note of that. That's my job.
And our new commissioner joins at the next,
Yeah.
joins for the retreat, right?
Retreat, yeah.
Great.
Yep, she's out of town or else probably would have been here this evening too, so. Okay.
Great. I also wanted to sort of brainstorm project management options. I have like a very analog spreadsheet that I've used for my project management. I don't know if you have more Todd, you had recommended the planner.
You could use it. I have not used it on Teams,
Planner
but
on Teams.
it's
We
recommended
can
by
look into that
IT.
too. Do you use other project management?
We use Asana.
Is that,
But you'd have to like have
Have a
that.
license.
It's like a thing that you have to buy, right?
Okay.
So it's, I think it's quite good, but on the other hand, like, we're probably not gonna go buy
yeah,
software. So I've never used the Teams,
okay.
I've never used it, so.
What other apps? I'm just curious as to which ones we have.
Ernest is here.
'cause
That's
my
good.
access. Oh, Ernest is here.
Oh, Ernest.
Ernest! We can't hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hello, good
Ernest.
evening.
Hey, I thought we were meeting hybrid.
This is hybrid.
It's a hybrid. So a hybrid, I think, I was also confused about this and sat for some time at the city parking deck reading over the emails and trying to figure out if we were partially in person.
Yeah.
So it's fine to be online, and it's fine to be in person.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I think you're okay. Because you gave us written notice that you were going to be online, and I think that's what we needed
Yeah,
to have somebody be online.
that'll count.
Yeah.
He notified you. You're the chair
yeah,
of this
you notified
committee.
me as the chair, so I'm
Yeah.
going to count that.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So we've actually kind of gone through most of the agenda so far. I can give a brief recap. Mary and I are going to take another look at that draft letter that I drafted. We're going to send Jessica our policies by tomorrow, like things we think are important to work on in the city, because I think she asked for those by tomorrow. So I want to send those to her. And I also wanted to ask if you would be comfortable with us doing sort of a group chat, just in case there is any business that needs to be addressed in our city email accounts, that we could like ping each other, like, hey, I sent you something. Yeah?
I like that.
Okay, then I'm gonna make a group chat between you, me, and Mary, just for the housing subcommittee stuff. Okay. I know
Okay.
I should be looking over to the left, I'm looking over
Oh,
at
yeah,
your screen.
We look backwards.
Okay, sounds good. I just wanted to make sure that was okay with you. What else? We were.
I can actually get a good angle of you no matter where you look, so it doesn't matter. Just FYI.
Wow.
Thanks.
Forget what I was gonna say. We were just talking about project management options, since we'd like to incorporate maybe a more project management approach to the priorities that we select in our retreat. And so we were kind of clicking around Teams to see what options are available there. And yeah, just in the process of doing that. There's a lot more here than.
It's something to
work.
explore. It may be more than we can do right now, but
Yeah, I'm realizing that.
yeah, there's an app called Project. There's an app called Planner.
Planner.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff,
Mhm.
each of which may have
And polls.
benefits. So
Okay, I'm try to utilize some of this. Also, Ernest, I'm gonna create a Teams page for our housing subcommittee, just to drop housing-related resources for us and for the whole commission. Todd mentioned that there would be value into us accumulating resources, either the conversations that we have with nonprofit leaders, policymakers, for the benefit of council, or just for commissioners to be able to track relevant housing policy information. So I'm gonna make a Teams page.
Okay. Did anyone listen to or go to the Livable Seville, golly, something that happened earlier this week?
Not this week.
What was it last week?
Um,
I thought that was something that they were doing they did at Buford, they did it at, it was 3 different spots. And it was last week. It was last week.
It was last week.
It was on zoning.
Oh, no, I did not go. I wish I was interested in that, but I did not.
I don't have it
Okay.
on, I don't have it on my planner, which means I wasn't tracking that something was happening.
Okay, they were doing some things around zoning last week, and they had it somewhere. It was at Buford. I think it was on Wednesday. They had it somewhere on Saturday, and they had it somewhere else early in the week.
Do you know if they're having any more?
I don't.
Okay.
You probably go on the Livable Seville website.
I think they are having one more in March. I can look up the date for that, but
Yeah. Ernest, did you get to go to any of the ones that were this past week?
No, that was something yesterday. I got an Eventbrite for something yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it. It was online though. It was talking about housing.
Oh yeah, they had one last night.
Yes, there's some last night.
Ah, I registered for this. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Wasn't in my planner. Shucks.
Yeah, so, and that's just the tough part, is just trying to make sure, it's hard to attend, but it's hard to not have to know what to champion and what to get behind,
Yeah.
as far as when city council is deciding to put money behind things. Or they put money behind the things that are going to make an impact, and going to make an impact right now.
Yeah.
And that's my concern, is that, it's good for us to have good information to know exactly what to make sure we champion and get behind.
Yeah, I have that same concern just because I know all of us want to be as knowledgeable as we can before we try to make informed decisions.
Right.
But I know my knowledge only goes so deep, so I'm,
Oh, same here.
yeah. And so I really want to rely on organizations that are doing this work, have been doing this work, and try to just lift up their voices when we try to.
Exactly. Exactly. And don't want to fight, pushing something that they've already been in the trenches doing. I don't want to go against them and what they're, have already put in place.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I do think that there's some value in having like the Human Rights Commission of the city saying those same things,
Yeah.
right? Like lifting up those messages about, what we want, for example, our zoning laws to look like.
Yes.
So, but I agree. I think we need to be led by the people who are already doing the work and who are experts.
Mhm.
Well, I agree, Mary. I just want to champion behind that, not, be out in front as much. But I think our voice is, I hope our voice will be appreciated to know that we're involved in that process.
Yeah, Mary, you had an idea to draft a letter to support the rezoning plan. What might look like a process for drafting that?
Well, I guess first, the whole commission has to say they want to do that, because we didn't really have, I just threw that out at the very end, right?
I thought we agreed to it. We were like, yeah, that's a great idea, Mary. Let's do it. That to me was
I'm sure there was moral
agreeing.
agreement, but I don't think there was voting agreement, right? So we would do that. I mean, I'd be happy to take a first
Okay.
draft. I'd probably steal wantonly from the Livable Seagull people who've
Yes.
also put together a very comprehensive
Yeah.
letter. I'd be happy to take a first stab at it and circulate it, but
Especially since you have a 6-hour plane ride tomorrow.
I was,
Not to remind
that is a
you.
good point. I was thinking about after the
Oh, for
retreat,
sure.
'cause I feel
Fair,
like
fair.
the commission should say, yes,
Yeah.
we want to do
Yeah,
that.
I don't have to co-opt your vacation.
I already have another letter to review
Oh,
on the
no.
plane. But
Okay.
it is in fact 6 hours, so I could read more than one letter.
Great. Sounds good. Yeah, I think, that you're right that the decisions that we make in the retreat will inform the majority of the work that we do the rest of this year. But I think that letter is still something we would write even if we chose to focus on emergency housing instead of
I can,
affordable housing more broadly.
I could try to pull down some of the letters that have been written by other groups
Yeah.
that we might want to, reference.
Yeah.
I can.
And I don't
do-
think,
Yeah.
in terms of the commission process, I don't think there's anything that would prevent you from writing a letter upon which we would later vote to approve.
Well, that's true, right? I mean, I could write whatever I want.
You can write whatever you want.
Yes. Okay. I will give that some thought tomorrow.
Excellent. 6 hours. 6 hours of thought.
New York to
Uninterrupted.
Bogota, right? Yep. Okay.
Great. Okay. Does anybody have anything housing related that they would like to discuss or bring to the subcommittee? Ernest, I think you froze a little bit.
I like the way he's controlling San Francisco there.
Yeah, you are
He's
hovering above the Golden Gate
there's
Bridge.
giant head.
Maybe I'll just say something
That's
positive. Housing wise.
It's
That's
a
a
really
great
good picture.
immortalized in our
background.
Zoom webinar forever.
Selfie at the end.
Something that I think is maybe a good positive note about change in our community is that we've
Taking
advocated for
photographs.
language access.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned that Ashley's been surveying department heads, what are your language access needs? What resources do you currently have?
I did a fun census data poll for her to see what languages have been spoken the past 2 years according to census data.
Yeah.
Just a random roll up, which is interesting.
But housing related, just to I think this is a nice thing to think about, is that that there's also awareness there. CRHA is actually translating the housing choice voucher application into various languages.
Oh,
Like
that's great.
right now, like I know at least Swahili and a few other. I can't remember all the languages that were mentioned, but just to put that out there, like
Yeah.
there are interesting things that are happening kind of below the surface or just below the surface that will have positive impacts that relate to the work that we care about. So just putting that out there. Yeah.
Thanks, Deb. Mary, I want to give you my number so you can send that to me.
Well, so the first thing on the group chat will be Ernest
Okay.
floating above the Golden Gate Bridge.
I'm gonna give you my, I'm gonna write down my phone number, so.
Official. Infinitely preserved and Human Rights Commission recording. Sorry, I'm Ernest.
Okay. Well, since we don't have any representatives from a community engagement, and I don't want to speak to their panel process without them, I guess we can move into matters by the public. I don't know if we have anybody online currently. Remy? Is there anyone online? Nope. All right. Well, if anybody listens to this later, because sometimes I like to listen to meetings after they've occurred, you're always welcome to join us. And I will adjourn this meeting at 7:01.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good
See ya.
night.
Bye, Ernest.
See you, Ernest.
Good job getting
It's gone.
organizing, they voted on the